Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds, and today is a day where if you have money to spend on Magic, this is the video for you.
It's the Commander cards most worth buying.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, bringing you daily Commander videos. If you love the channel and our fast-talking buffoonery, you can join our Patreon squad. They're scrolling right now, and there's a link in the description.
Yes, and the patron of the day, of course, is Charles Blevins, as everyone already knew because they were thinking, are they going to say Charles Blevins? I've been waiting this whole time. Well, we said Charles Blevins.
They marked their calendars for Charles Blevins Day. And if you want to mark your calendar for Support Us Indirectly Day, that's every single day with TCG Player. There's an affiliate link in the description. You just go to the site like you normally would, navigate, buy your cards, put them in the cart, and then check out. And because you started with our link initially, we get a kickback on the order, courtesy of TCG Player, not you.
Yes, it's you buy the cards you were going to buy anyway, because who are you kidding? You were going to buy cards. So whenever you go to buy all these cards we're going to tell you to buy in this video, just use our link in the description. Other way to do that, dragonshield.com. They have the best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
And those sleeves can be bought through our affiliate link in the description. You get the sleeves shipped to your house. You spend $0 extra, and a Nitpicking Nerds YouTube channel gets money and becomes better.
Gets bigger. And we have a sponsor. It's Moxville.com. Every single video is sponsored by them. The whole channel. There's an ad in the middle of this video, but I know what you're thinking. It's predictable. It's boring. I'm going to skip it. Nope, you won't even know. The ad will end, and you won't even realize you just listened to an ad.
Yeah, because you could never see it coming. And happy birthday to every single human whose birthday is today. We're through it. Let's do the video, BZ.
Yes, so this is the Commander cards most worth buying, and what that basically means is not time to speculate, time to buy out the markets. It's like, hey, you have some money to spend on Commander. These cards are going to give you more bang for their buck than like most other stuff that we see in the format right now. We're super happy with the prices these are at, and we've gotten them at this price where it's like, this is the price it's at that we feel comfortable buying.
Yes, it is. You spend X dollars and the card is worth X dollars.
X dollars plus even.
X dollars plus even. Yes, exactly. So it's worth, if the card is $5, it's worth spending $5 to get that card if you have a deck it goes in and have the budget to buy the card. It's very important that you have both of those.
Those are prerequisites.
Yeah, I would not just buy these cards to sit around. That's not what I would do.
Yeah, so since this series has been going on for a while, what we're doing now in the newer versions is checking the episodes we made 6 months ago to see how we did, if cards went up, cards went down, or stayed the same. Just a quick recap of December 2021, 6 months ago. That was 9 cards remained neutral. They were within like 50 cents to $1. It doesn't really matter.
They're all on screen right now. You can see them. Have a quick browse of all the cards that remained approximately neutral. For the increases, there are 10 increase. The two big ones that you're going to care about the most are Demonic Tutor went up a full $5. That one's probably going to keep going up until it sees a reprint, obviously. In turn, Timber Symbiosis, which was all the way down at around $2.50, is now up to $5 and catching up to the other MDF season price.
Yes, 6 of the cards on our list decreased in price, mostly due to reprints, I think.
The two biggest decreases were Druid of Purification, which went down, I'm sorry, $2. So if you got it for $6, why don't you go pick it up for $4, because it's now $4. And Cabal Coffers, which was around $20, has dropped to a whopping $17. So you might have lost $3 if you bought at that time instead of now. But those are our biggest decreases, so you aren't doing too bad if you bought every card from that video.
Yeah, it was a slight positive for us. I think we did pretty good. So let's get into this video, these next 20. Let's start with Scoot Swarm, shall we?
Yeah, this one's an easy one. Scoot Swarm is 3 mana. When a land enters, you get a bug. But if you have 6 or more lands when a land enters, wow, you don't just get a bug, you get a Scoot Swarm. And that Scoot Swarm makes more Scoot Swarms. Currently $2, and this is one of the best landfall payoffs and one of the best token cards in the entire format. It just gets off the ground so quickly, and the numbers get ludicrous so fast.
Yeah, as soon as I have 8, I feel like, whoa, I didn't even spend mana on this. You really spend 3 mana. That's the only investment. Yeah. You just have to put more lands in play. Those are always free, or the spells that do them, they're not costing more. It's just Cultivate. Full spell plus, here's like 20,000 bugs. I actually just won a game over the weekend. You
stole my Scoot Swarm.
Yeah, stole your Scoot Swarm, and I just made 8 more bugs and Perforos to everybody.
Yeah, Scoot Swarm is an incredible card, and one of the best things about it is you play it on 5 or more lands. Then you play your land for a turn. You don't give priority there. There was never a chance for them to get priority. Now the Scoot Swarm, you'll have a second one. You'll have 2 must-answer threats on the battlefield. If it was a fetch land, you're going to have 4 of them before you even pass the turn.
Yeah, it's really spot removal proof. They just have to board wipe. And for $2, I'll take it all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, another card that BZ brought me down on in the beginning of the channel, but I just keep coming around and like, this is an army in a can and definitely worth $3. It is Avenger of Zendikar. This card is 7 mana. It's expensive. It's going to be the top end of your deck that you're playing. You want it to be tokens most likely. But this card, simply being one card, present yourself as a threat without you give up one card. Like a lot of cards you have to like build up and like it's in combination with other cards. This is just like, oh, you played Avengers Zendikar. Okay, your board's a threat just from that one card.
Similar to Scoot Swarm, I think. Presumably, you're going to get 8 bodies at least for 7 mana. And then I hope we have lands. If you can play like 1 or 2 lands after, you're now in a similar spot where they kind of have to board wipe. The Avenger needs to die, but there's also like 11 3/4 plants that's just going to demand a board wipe. This card, I was super low on it. I never really play it. I'm up a little, like it can end games, obviously. It's just, I think, like a D at ending games.
It's the buy itself. And the thing is, once you untap with this, it says play anything. It says play any of your payoffs from this point out.
If you untap, you should probably win.
It's going to put away the game, just like in a Jetmir deck. It presents a board in a Jetmir deck that by itself will kill the table.
Without any landfalls.
Without landfall, which is just an incredible card. And like you said, like this and then Kratos. You didn't have to have anything else on the battlefield. If you have haste and you go this Kratos, the game's over. You end the game with that.
Reflecting Pool is the next one on the list here. $7.50. Just got reprinted in Commander Legends 2 Battle for Baldur's Gate Boogaloo, and it's went way down in price from when it was in like Conspiracy.
Really, really good card. Obviously, its weakness is that you have to be set up that your lands are good already, and then it's a 5-color land.
It doesn't color fix.
It doesn't color fix you unless you're already color fixed, but it is just an untapped whatever colors your deck is in as long as you're already fixed. The card is obviously incredible. The best reprint from Commander Legends 2.
Very possible, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least from the base set.
I think so.
The Commander deck had some better ones than even something on this list, but yeah, from the base set, it is absolutely amazing. A card that Commander is just kind of, I've definitely strayed away from it because it just never felt worth $20 some odd. I wasn't going to buy it for that. For $7.50,
I'm in.
This is a great land. I wasn't avoiding it because it was a good land. I was avoiding it because I didn't want to spend $20, $30 on this random land because it hasn't been reprinted since Shadowmoor.
Out of our price range to get the plus 1% in our mana base.
But now it's lower than that. I think Reflecting Pool is like, it's like you're adding like 0.005% to your mana base. Like, it's fine and it's good, but I don't need it for $30.
Possibly even a better reprint from Battle for Baldur's Gate, just because there's 5 of them. It's the Allied Battle Bond lands.
Fair.
They're back, and we all know what happens with these lands. They're some of the best duels in Commander, maybe the best non-typed duels in Commander, let's say, and they always enter untapped. They're between $4 and $8 right now. No way that stays true.
Yeah.
No way.
We just don't know how often these get reprinted, and $4 to $8 is a perfect price for them. You need these. You just need these. Every single Commander deck you build that is not monocolored is playing some number of these.
I think so.
Literally everyone from all the way from 2 to 5 colors. You're playing at least 1 or 2 of these in your deck. If I'm playing a 3-color deck, I have all 3 of these. And if I'm playing a 4-color deck, man, I would think
I have all 6, right?
Probably. I mean, at least like 3 or 4 of the main colored ones to go in my deck.
Yeah, but if these were out of your price range and you're really trying to build up your mana base, this is like the first thing I would go after. I would like be salivating over these lands.
We already
if
saw,
I didn't have them yet.
And yeah, we already saw back in Battle Bond when they don't get reprinted after a while, they start going up.
Skyrocketing.
They were getting in 20 and 30 ranges, right? Like all
Easy.
Of them were like, yeah, because I believe that like Morphic Pool, which is the $8 one now, the cheapest of, or not the most expensive of these, was up to like 30 before it got reprinted at all. Like that's saying that if these don't see reprints, and we don't know how often they'll see reprints, they could easily skyrocket again, well worth $4 to $8.
This next card in my head was kind of always a bulk rare, but I love it in Commander, and every time I see it, it just does serious work. It's Adaline, Resplendent Cathar. She's a star 4. Her power is huge because it's equal to the creatures you control. And then whenever you attack, period, you get 3 1/1s, each attacking an opponent. This just makes so many bodies, so many triggers, tokens, ETBs. She doesn't risk herself, and if you can make her unblockable, she's going to hit for like 20 in the right deck. $5.50. I had a knee-jerk thing. I was like, wow, that's expensive. I thought it was bulk because it's from a recent set. But it's like, no, this card's great.
This card I think has never been bulk actually.
Yeah.
It might have been like $1 when the set first dropped, but it went right into standard. It went right into commander decks, and this card has been good since, and it's been $5. We've been opening. We have like 6 or 7 of these for some reason. I don't know why.
We drafted so much.
Yeah, we
You're not passing it.
Well, it's just a random one to open a lot of. Like we just have like 6 or 7 Adalines, and this card obviously great in any tokens list. It makes humans, so it is great in any. If you're playing a humans deck, ridiculously good. Like
4 humans for 3 mana.
For 3 mana, and it doesn't even. It happens right away unless it's killed before combat. Send in anything, and you get 3 new guys out.
Yeah, don't sleep on Adaline. The next best one is like Brimaz. I think that card's awful.
Yeah, that card is much worse than Adaline. Next, another cycle of lands, but not all of them are worth it, especially not Sunbaked Canyon, which is $18 due to its high play in Modern Burn.
What's the cycle?
The cycle is the Canopy lands. So we have the 2 that I think aren't worth it from the Modern Horizons 1 printings are Sunbaked Canyon and Fire Islet's like $11. It's close. That one's close to might be worth it. But these other ones are definitely worth it. We have Silent Clearing at $5. We have Nurturing Peatland at $7. And Waterlogged Grove all the way down at $4. And that's one of the best color combinations in Commander.
Untapped dual land, great. It pings you, we can afford it. We're at 40. We don't have a lot of lands that do that anyway. There's a couple in your deck, big deal. And then in the late game, it just cycles. You need a board wipe, you're 1 card deeper. You need an answer, you need some card draw, you're 1 card deeper on a land.
Yeah, these lands are absolutely stellar. And they're, like you said, they're untapped dual lands. $4 for Waterlogged Grove is so low, and I am so happy to be picking up for any deck that can play it up to like 3 and 4 colors.
Yeah, don't sleep on those either. This next one pretty much has always been a fair chunk of money, but it's undeniably powerful. It's Growing Rights of Itlimoc. It's an enchantment. It draws you a creature when it enters, basically, and then it'll flip into Gaia's Cradle if you have 4 creatures at your end step.
Yeah, so this card has at an all-time, not an all-time low, but it is at a low for the past like 3-4 months. It was up 22, 23, 24, 25, high range, and now it's all the way down to 1750. And this card really is very, very strong. You need a decent creature count. You want to make sure you're drawing. When you pay that 3 mana, you want to make sure you're drawing off it, and you want to be in a deck where, hey, I can flip this easily. You meet those requirements, this card is now better than Gaia's Cradle once you get to the back side. Obviously, 3 mana is a higher investment than Gaia's Cradle being a land. That card's silly. We know how good that card is, but once you get it flipped, the land side by side with Gaia's Cradle is strictly better.
Yeah, it just taps for a green by itself as opposed to only having that 1 second ability. Growing Rights is great. If you were holding off, because in my head I was holding off on it because I didn't think it was worth it. Since Ixalan came out, I'm like, I'm not spending $35 on that. But now I'm looking at it, I'm raising an eyebrow like, $17.50 is way closer to what I think this card's valued at.
Yeah, I mean, I think this card is a card that can win you games by itself, which is saying something. There's not a card that can producing enough mana that it can be the tide changer in a game is not something a lot of cards do. And Growing Rights Itlimoc absolutely can do it. We know Gaia's Cradle is already doing that. So Growing Rights Itlimoc, yeah, it is a steeper cost. It's harder to play, and you really want to make sure you have the right count. But you meet all the requirements, and this card is better. So that's saying a lot.
What do we got next?
It is Jeska's Will, currently reprinted in a Baldur's Gate Precon, the one that From Exile. I think that's what it's called, right? Something like that. So play from exile, whatever. But it's $11 currently. It was up in the 20s, and this is its first reprint. Again, we can't be too sure how often we're going to see reprints. We don't know. And Jeska's Will is 100% worth $11. It is the best card draw spell in red, and just one of the best card draw spells in the format because it also rituals if you have your commander out.
Yes, and you can't fall into the trap of, this card, it was like $3 for the longest time because nobody realized how strong it was, or it hadn't caught on yet, or enough product hadn't been opened. But people caught on immediately, really quick after that. It's like now it's skyrocketed like 25. It's like every red deck ever. $11, yes. It's like as it was going up in price, I didn't feel like I was getting ripped off. I'm like, yep, this card's amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't tried Jeska's Will in your deck, it's one of those cards that you should just give a shot because it reads kind of like, it reads like it's okay, but it plays way better than that, and it is just a phenomenal staple of Commander at this point.
Oh, yeah. Next, we got a card that we talk about a lot, I think. Beast Whisperer. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. Elf Ball, tiny creatures, Memnite decks, whatever kind of nonsense you're trying to do, he's going to draw cards for only $2.
This is just the most efficient form of this card that exists. It's 4 mana, and it's a creature. So it's a creature for your creature deck, and it's 4 mana. There's other versions that I would even say are worth the money, like
Guardian Project?
Guardian Project. I think it's worth the money. That's worth $10. But it's obviously way more worth it if I think this card's better, because it is a creature for your creature deck. And on top of that,
It's findable.
Exactly. It's tutorable. It just synergizes with your whole deck. It's only 4 mana. I mean, we have these at there's some other ones that do the same thing at 6 mana. Those cards are fine too, but this is
big difference.
The aggressively costed 4 mana one, only $2. I'm in for it.
Yeah, the power creep version. And it is tutorable with our next card, Court of Calling. One of the seemingly most underrated tutors in Commander. I don't see it a lot. It's fantastic. It's $6 and it's X, green, convoke, search for creature, cost X, just put it in play. And it's an instant.
It's an instant that can be a 0 mana spell if you have enough creatures. I literally was caught so off guard the other day. Somebody played something that
tapped out.
They tapped out and they made a bunch of creatures, and there was just nothing on the board. It's okay, whatever. They're tapped out. They have a bunch of creatures. They're a threat, obviously, but then as the turn was passing, they were like, convoke all my creatures for 6 to get a 6-drop. It's like, out of nowhere, without spending any mana, they just tapped their team that could have attacked anyway. It's like
totally great.
Something that almost no other card can do. It's literally out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean it can take cards like Avenger of Zendikar, kind of clunky. You play Avenger, all right, great. You get to get around to the next person. They try to wipe the board. All right, I'll Court of Calling for Selfless Spirit. You got anything else? Because you're still dead.
Yeah, exactly. It's this card being instant speed and a tutor that goes directly to the battlefield. It looks overcosted, but the convoke immediately makes up for any overcost this card
way undercosted.
Exactly, because it is. Without convoke, this card is overcosted, and we're not talking about it very much. But with convoke, this card is undercosted and aggressively good.
Convoke is a very good mechanic.
Just a little.
Yeah, this was another reprint from the Baldur's Gate precons. It's Holebreaker Horror.
Yep.
7 mana, instant speed thing. It can't be countered. And you casting spells, you're bouncing spells or permanents. $3 is almost no dollars. That's a very low amount of dollars for a card that is a little. You have to get up in mana-wise to cast it. It's a little, hard to get to. Once you get there, this thing is probably not going away.
Absolutely an overperformer. A card that me and BC were low on, and we will admit we were wrong about.
I think I went from low to medium, where it's this thing can do something.
Well, I just think it's on the instead of being on the low side, it's on the medium high side, where it's this card is just an amazing threat to cheat and play, reanimate, and it's tough to kill. If they're holding up instants, they can just bounce whatever you're going to kill it with back to your hand off the stack. This card does a lot, and on top of all that, this card has flash. What?
Surprise.
So surprise, here out of nowhere is suddenly a Holebreaker Horror taking over the game.
And you can't counter it. So you're going to get bounced.
you're going to get bounced. I mean, exactly. You're going to get bounced.
Okay, we were talking about this one as maybe the best infinite mana outlet in the game for Commander. Walking Ballista at $13. You pay X into it, enters with X counters, and you pay 4 to put a counter on it, and you can remove a counter to ping something. Counters decks, gigantic mana decks, some infinite combo decks where you're just trying to Basalt Monolith, Rings of Bright Earth, boom, here you go. It works for infinite mana or regular mana when it's on the field or when it's in your hand. Basically just does everything.
Yeah, I think this is the best infinite mana outlet in the whole entire format. The fact is, it works with colorless mana. There's some great infinite mana outlets, but you need some color to go into it. You don't need that here. If you have infinite colorless mana, you win the game. If you have infinite colorless mana that's in your hand, you win. Infinite colorless mana that's on the battlefield, you win.
Right.
This card is versatile in so many little ways with it. This is a creature. It's the easiest type to tutor in the whole entire format. This card is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
You can Recruiter the Guard, Imperial Recruiter, Ranger of Eos, and Ranger Captain of Eos all find this. Super easy.
It's tough to underestimate this card. It's tough to look at this card and think it's very good because honestly, when you're playing it for 2-3, it's not very good. But the fact that it just goes infinite with a ton of things, and it's one of the best things for a counters deck. You need to throw your counters somewhere. You have 6 or 7 counters on your Ozolith. We need to put those somewhere. Walking Ballista holds them extremely well.
It's like a mediocre thing with so much potential that I'm playing it in a lot of decks. Number 13, since we're numbering these, of course, you were keeping up. Incarnation Technique, 5 mana, you mill 5, then reanimate a creature. It doesn't even target, so just a creature. Then you can have an opponent copy it. If you do, you copy it, so you're going to get mill 10, reanimate 2 things overall. You go 5 and then 5, and then they're going to get 1. But the dirty little secret on this card is that doesn't really matter. We're going to give away reanimate to the player who can use it the least. And I'm not really scared of it because I get 2.
Yeah, there's always a deck that is the worst at reanimating at the table. Like you always give it to that deck, and worst case scenario, every deck has a banger in the graveyard. You can just take the 1. You can just take this poorly rated, overcosted card and do it for 1 if you need to. But that's the versatility of it. Most of the time, you're gonna get that mill 10 reanimate 5, but the fact of the matter is this card's versatile. This card reanimates 2 things. This card's rate is just actually strong for what you're getting. You're also milling 10, which is what the decks are going to want to be doing that are playing this.
It bounces you right back from a Bajuka Bog or anything like that. Reanimate and Animate Dead are obviously fantastic cards. They're better than this one. But they still can't do anything if you haven't built up your graveyard yet. This could be the first thing you play and you still feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, exactly. This can make a board that's a threat by itself without having played anything. You could have gone land the first 5 turns, and then this. And you could suddenly be a huge threat to the whole game.
So don't sleep on Incarnation Technique for $2.
Yes, we love it. Next, Sterling Grove, green-white for an enchantment. All of your enchantments, except for it, have Shroud. And then you can pay 1, sacrifice it to Enlighten Tutor so you can put an enchantment on top of your library. Obviously, this is one of the more specific ones on here. It's purely an Enchantress card, but if you're an Enchantress, this is going to be one of the best cards in your entire deck. It's an enchantment that comes in and draws you a card with all of your Enchantresses, and then it tutors up your best enchantment whenever you need it. And before you tutor, it's protecting all of your enchantments on the battlefield.
And the best part is they have to go after it, and they know they're just wasting it because you're just going to, sack it, go find my next best enchantment, or maybe even a way to bring this thing back if you have one of those, and it just feels hopeless. This could just be like the final nail in the coffin for you when you're playing against Enchantress decks. Like, you're just done.
Yeah, like you said, all your removal, if you have enchantment removal, you have to use it on this first because all the other stuff is protected from spot removal, forcing them to go after this, which means you'll just sack it and you'll just go use a free tutor, which is obviously very, very strong.
Similar play pattern to Aura of Silence. It messes with you, you have to target it, and then they just do something else with it.
Yes. Next, we have probably the greatest value of all of them. It's Moxfield.com, a free-to-use website where you can go and build every single one of your decks, Commander or otherwise. Obviously, we're suggesting you go there to build all of your Commander decks. And one of the coolest things on the whole website is that you can sort by price, meaning you can see what the most expensive cards in your deck are and the least expensive cards in your deck are, letting you cut and add based on price.
Oh, man, this card's $30. That's not worth buying. That's not in the Nitpicking Nerds Most Worth Buying video. Psh, get out of here.
Get them out of here.
Thanks, Moxfield, for showing me.
What is next?
It's Rings of Brighthearth, $3. Classic combo. It works with Planeswalkers. It doubles abilities for 2 mana whenever you activate an ability. Not the most ubiquitous card. Doesn't go in every deck, but there's a few that are really hungry for this. And back in the day, it was $40 or something. 3 feels way better.
So much better. And this obviously just goes in the decks where you want your commander to have activated abilities, right? That's my first thought, is if my commander has activated abilities that I want to be doubling up, then I'm totally in for this card. This was way overpriced back in the day, way overpriced. I wasn't even touching it for the decks I thought wanted it. But $3 is a totally reasonable price for a card that can increase the power of some commanders and is a huge threat. In Osgear decks, this is a completely silly card. I'll make 2 of them out of my graveyard. Okay, now I have 2 Rings of Brighthearth. I'll make this thing, but I will pay 4 extra, so I'll actually get 6 of whatever artifact I just made. It pops off in that deck.
Yes. Ignoble Hierarch, $4. It's a Jund mana dork. It's got Exalted, but nobody cares. If you're in a 5-color creature deck or 3-color creature deck, and you might not know that this thing that was supposed to kind of be like a modern plant actually is more close to a bulk rare.
Yeah, exactly. So $4 is pretty low for Ignoble Hierarch. Noble Hierarch, $12. It's getting to a price that's reasonable, but you're buying Birds of Paradise before you're buying that. This is about 3 times cheaper than a Birds of Paradise or a Noble Hierarch. It's not like this broken, busted card, and so you can do without it a lot of times, but when you need that next mana dork, you've bought all those 1 mana dorks.
Well, if you're in Jund, this is the first one you go for.
Exactly, because it has fixing. This fixes you, unlike most mana dorks, most mana dorks besides birds and like Ignoble Hierarch are just tapping for green or even colorless sometimes. There's one that tests for black. Watch out for that one.
That was a Deep Shadow.
There's also one that tests for white too.
Absence Pilgrim.
Yeah, those ones are all weird.
Yes, there's also a green one a black one that taps for green. Let's go to Eternal Witness.
These are real things.
Let's go to Eternal Witness. It's $3. You know what it does. It brings the thing back.
Staple the format.
Staple the format. Blink it, reanimate it, recur it, whatever you got to do. They've been doing a good job of keeping this thing kind of level at $2, $3, $4. I like it at $3. You know this card's great. If you're looking to get one, this is your friendly reminder to go buy one. It's like have you drank water today? You know,
this card will just always be a staple of the format. And yeah, we're not like surprising anyone by telling you that Eternal Witness is a great card. Like everybody knows Eternal Witness is a great card, but it belongs in every single deck and is absolutely worth the $3 price tag it has. And if they ever decide to not reprint this for some reason, they're like, all right, it doesn't need a reprint. We've reprinted it 75 times. We're done with it. It could easily start creeping up. Easily, because this is such a playable card in the Commander format.
I know that happened a lot with Path to Exile back when it was more of a modern thing. They just kept reprinting it and it just kept climbing back up. Get some Eternal Witnesses. Get yourself a little backlog, a vault, a giant vault full of Eternal Witnesses.
A backlog of Eternal Witnesses.
I'm sorry. Phantasmal Image. We're almost done. $3 is a 2-mana clone, but if they target it, it gets sacrificed. Deal. Because what I'm after is my own creatures with static abilities I can use right away, or ETBs to the point that this thing doesn't matter anymore.
Also, there are some things, but there's not a lot of stuff that targets but doesn't kill.
Right, but wouldn't kill it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not even a huge worry. Yeah, you're gonna lose this to things that wouldn't normally kill it sometimes. But 2-mana clone is by far the cheapest clone we have in existence. And it's not just for you, it's for anything on the battlefield. Copy something with a death trigger. Okay, go ahead. Kill it. Kill my Wormcoil Engine I copied for 2 mana. I don't care, because I'll just get 2 little Wormcoil Engines.
It is quite bad against Walking Ballista if you're not getting an ETB, but most of the time, if you steal a Solemn Simulacrum, great. My 2 mana was worth it. Doesn't matter what happens now.
It is. There are, like I said, you're going to sometimes feel the effect of that, the illusion ability, the old school illusion.
Well, that's what I'm
ability.
saying. I don't care in that case. It's like I got my value.
Yeah.
You didn't even really get me. I paid 2 mana to draw a card and get a land.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Yeah, Phantasmal Image, if you're looking for a clone, it should be one of the first ones you go to because it's 1 and a blue. It is by far the cheapest.
Random, almost non sequitur reminder about this card. If I try to Hero's Downfall your image, the ability to sacrifice goes in the stack. So even if you counter Hero's Downfall, it still dies.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Next is black, destroy target creature, or you can overload it for 2 white, destroy all creatures. Damn is just a really, really good Magic card, and if it obviously doesn't see as much play as it could because it's in 2 colors rather than 1 color like a Wrath of God or Damnation, but this is better than Wrath of God and Damnation in the decks that can actually play it. It is such a strong Magic card. It's a board wipe. It's a 4-mana board wipe. It's right on par. It's like the literal par.
Like fine. It's fine, decent. It'll do work.
It's par. It's literally par. For 4-mana wipe the board, that's what we expect, the minimum we expect of our board wipes. All right, well, what if we can get more out of that? Because now, if it's not good, like, board wipes aren't always good, and maybe there's just one threat in the board you need to get rid of. Well, you want to leave your board alone. Black, destroy. Is it bad? That's a terrible rate. I don't want to play that card ever. But I will take it on my already great card that's a board wipe.
I would just sum it up as it's a board wipe, but when you don't need a board wipe, you can still cast it.
It's something else. Yeah, most board wipes are like, when you don't need the board wipe,
you're out of luck.
It's in your hand, and it's still a board wipe.
It's a brick. All right, last one is not a brick. It is Animate Dead. You're going to pay 2, enchant a creature in your graveyard. There's like 100 lines of text, mumbo jumbo. Comes back, enchanted. If either one leaves the battlefield, you got to sacrifice the creature, obviously, or the Animate Dead goes away. $4 for one of the best reanimate spells in the format. You can hit opponents' graveyards, hit your own, cheap mana all day.
I think it's the second best reanimation spell in the whole entire format, right behind Reanimate. It's really, really good. It returns things, and it's just something that Reanimate absolutely 100% cannot do. It combos with cards like Worldgorger Dragon and Abdel Adrian.
Renegade Railier, Leonin Relic Warder, Sun Titan. This thing is an actual threat in the graveyard.
Yeah, exactly. This card is a combo piece. So, like, yeah, it's not the best thing at just reanimating, but it has something that we're not getting out of Reanimate. We have combo potential.
Oh, yeah. So don't forget, Animate Dead, combo people out.
We do this every month.
Yes.
We literally do this series every single month. So if you would like to check out what we thought was worth buying last month or the month before, well, one of those videos is right here. Beezy, you choose which one to put there.
Take a trip back in time and join us for one of those 2 videos.
Memory Lane. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.